Hello everyone, it's Michael with the World of Michael Trent. Thank you so much for stopping back at my channel. Today I want to share with you two card ideas. I've already made this first one. There is a Christmas clip art digital collection out by KCS Designs by Kim. Kim has an Etsy store, and I cannot tell you how many cards I have made using this one clip art kit. Everything's already been colored for you. All you need to do is print it out whatever size you want onto whatever cardstock you want, and you can make cards. So I need to make a couple of last minute holiday cards here, and I started with this idea. My original idea was that I wanted to have this wreath of holly leaves. Okay, so in this collection, there's an image of these holly leaves. There's also an image of some mistletoe berries with the leaves. And I had this idea in my head. So the idea was to have something rustic behind the wreath. And it started out with this idea. And if you look at this, you really can't see where the paper starts and where the leaves start. So I said, okay, let me go a little bit lighter. So then I printed this out, and I realized that, yeah, this is going to be the same thing. So this idea of using a rustic wood background went right out the window. Okay, and what I decided to do was to use a wood plank embossing folder. So let me take you through how I made this card. I'm going to make the same card, but I'm going to be using the mistletoe leaves. Okay, so I'll show you how I put this all together. It comes together really quickly. You can pump out a lot of these if you need a last minute card, okay? I will leave links below to anything I'm using, to the Christmas clip art set. The sentiment is from the Christmas Flair buttons set. I think it's 24 different sentiments for Christmas in this round format, which is so easy to just punch out or die cut with a circle die. So everything will be linked below. So I'm starting out, I decided to make my card 5 1/4, it's a 5 1/4 inch square card. So I started with, a piece of cardstock. If I can figure out which way it opens. Okay, we have, it's 5 1/4 across by 10 1/2 height-wise. And then I scored it at 5 1/4 to give me my 5 1/4 inch square card. Then I cut a piece of white cardstock, 5 inches by 5 inches, and I embossed it using the Deck Planks 3D embossing folder from Altenew. There will be a link below if it's still available. This, I love how this looks. You can distress this even more, but I really wanted this white on white look going here. So once I had this, I wanted it raised up a little bit off the card front. So I cut a piece of white fun foam. Fun foam here in Brazil is everywhere. I buy sheets of it. It's really cheap. If you don't have fun foam around for you, you can use your foam squares or any foam tape or anything like that. Anything to give a little bit of height, okay? So I'm just going to glue this to my card front. I printed 16, on my printer, I can print multiple of the same image on one piece of cardstock. So the holly leaves and the mistletoe leaves, my printer, I can print 1, I can print 2, I can print 6, 9, or 16. So I printed 16 of the holly leaves. I believe it was at 30%. I think I made it a little bit smaller than what the printer was telling me. And the same thing with the mistletoe leaves. And then I used my ScanNCut to cut them out, and they cut out perfectly. I cut it out with a 0.4 border on the ScanNCut. So I'm going to just put this to the side here. I'm going to put a acrylic block on top to keep that flat. This is the Fun Foam. If you guys don't know what it is, it's this foam. I don't know what it's made out of, but I buy huge sheets of it and I can cut it up. And I use this in place of foam tape in a lot of my crafts. So here is the mistletoe. I actually printed this twice. It's 2 different sizes because I didn't know which would be better for my card front. So this is the mistletoe. Are we going to focus? Focus. Maybe not. Okay, I'm trying here. That's the mistletoe, and this is the holly. So I like them both. The holly has the red berries. It's a darker green. The mistletoe has kind of like an off-white berry going on here. So I'm going to use a different element on those berries. But both of them will work for this card idea. So I wanted these leaves to be a little bit off the card front, but I did not want to go and use a whole bunch of foam tots or anything like that. So what I did was I made this circle. My apologies on the motorcycles. It's Saturday in Brazil and I can't do anything about it. So what I did was I took, I have a set of circle dies from Spellbinders from 20 years ago. Everyone probably has these. I took the 2 largest and I taped them together. And what I did was I went through my box of scrap papers and I found 3 pieces of white scrap paper that I was not going to use for anything of importance. And I die cut these. I ran it through my Big Shot machine 6 times. And it will give you 6 of these circles already cut out for you. And all I did was I added a little tape around one and I just glued them all together to give myself this little 1/8 of an inch raised platform in a way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this to the center of my card here. I have a blog post also with photographs explaining everything I'm doing if that is more your thing. That will be linked below also. And this would be a great time for you to like this video, hit that little like button, and subscribe to my channel because I'll be having a lot more videos on card making and some albums coming up. And my blog also, I always try to do a combination of a blog post with my YouTube videos. So I glued this here to the center. You are not going to see this because all of these leaves are going to be adhered to this circle. And I did this for a couple of reasons. One, to raise the leaves up off the card to give it some depth. And also, this way I know exactly where to put my glue and my leaves should go in a nice circle and I know how far I can come out because I have the edge of the card here, okay? So I'm going to, let me just take a look. So if I use the smaller leaves versus the larger leaves, I think I'm going to go with the smaller at the moment. So I think I'm going to go with the smaller ones. When you do your printing, play around with the different sizes. So all I'm going to do is start to run some white glue on the white ring. And I'm just going to place this down so that I'm within the card. I don't want to be off the card. And I'm just going to keep the bottom of the mistletoe here on this end and the top of the flowers on this end. And I am just going to kind of go around with the next set of flowers. And I'm just going to work my way around the white ring. So now you can get as close to them as you want. I'm keeping them a little gap. I'm just going to, oh, I should go this way. I'm just going to add a little bit more glue here. And I'm just going to add this one here. I'm not pushing down, which I should be. Grab another one here. What's great about these digital files is you buy it, you receive an email, it's instant, you save it to your computer, you can print these out as many times as you want, you can print them out in different sizes. I could literally print one of these on a full piece of 8.5 by 11 or A4 cardstock if I wanted to. So if you need to decorate for a party or something, these are a great idea. You own them forever. You don't have to pay any delivery charges. You don't have to wait for them to show up in your mailbox. No one's going to steal them from your porch. Oh my God, I've been seeing so many videos lately of these porch pirates. It's crazy. Okay, this will be the last one. So the card opens this way. Okay. I seem to be a little bit more condensed over here. I could go back in. Let me see how this will work. Look. No, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. Okay, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. Okay, so this is the card. Now, for the sentiment, I printed out one of the sentiments from the Christmas Flair buttons from KCS Designs. This is what I used on the other one. Now, I did use diamond glaze on top of this one. It's not white through the diamond glaze is dry. It'll dry like glass. It dries clear like a piece of glass. It's an amazing product to own. You could also use glossy accents. There is a blue tone behind the Merry and Bright. So that's why when the glossy accents went on it, it made it a little bit darker. So that's why this is not white, okay? What I did was I printed this and then I die cut it using a small circle die, okay? The size of the die is going to depend on the size of your sentiment. So if you wanted to print a larger sentiment to come out larger, you can do that also. Then what I did was I went and I printed I die cut 6 pieces of white cardstock. I glued them together. Then I glued the Merry and Bright on the top, okay? And this is going to be glued down to the center here of my card. So I'm just going to glue this down here. Let me just make sure it's straight. Okay. That looks pretty straight, right? This white border over here, there's like, you know, the reflection if you're looking at a glass Christmas ornament. Okay. So this is glued down. And then what I did was I came in with my glossy accents and I just let's try a pin. I always have a pin sitting in my glue for all of these things. Okay. Okay. And I'm always losing the pin. So I'm just going to squeeze this out. As long as you kind of move it along, okay, it comes out really easy. It normally will not go past the border of your paper. This stuff is amazing. I don't know what it's made from. It's a poor man's resin. If you know how to work with resin, you could also use that here, but that's a whole other product. So I will just cover this. I love that it dries it will harden as it dries. Let me just take a look here. So, oh no. So this is this. If you have any air bubbles, you can just use a little pin. You could also run a heat gun over this. And then what I'm going to do is place this on the side to fully dry. When it fully dries, it will be hard like this, okay? After that dries, I will go in with a pearl type of, almost like a Nuvo drop. This is a Brazilian brand, but Viva Decor, which is a European brand, also sells these pearl pens. This was the red that I used here for the holly. They have them in many different colors, even transparent. So this is another idea for you to use. I'll leave a link below. But once that's dry, I'm just going to come back in here and add the pen to all the little mistletoe flowers. I will have a final photo over on my blog if you want to go take a look out there. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little idea. I kind of like the way the cards look. Well, this one's not fully dry yet, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Go pay a visit to KCS Designs by Kim on Etsy. Links for everything are below. And until next time, everyone, hugs from Brazil and have a great holiday. Okay, stay safe.